Hey everyone, my name is Bandit, and I'm going to start a series where I go over a whole bunch of different Pokemon gimmicks, and I'm going to assess each one and show you how it works and tell you how to counter it and if it is viable. So, here we go. The first gimmick I'm going to cover is the Huge Hitpoint Shuckle. Now, Shuckle is known for its insane defenses and its abysmal hit points. The hit point stat is the only thing that's really stopping this thing from becoming the single best tank in the game, even though it arguably already is. So, 3 Pokemon can learn the move Transform, which is Ditto, Mew, and Smeargle. And of the 3, Mew has the highest HP. It has a base 100, which means it has a maximum of 404. Conveniently, it also has the highest speed stat, maxing out at 328 if it's Jolly-natured. In addition to Transform, Mew also has access to Fake Out, Taunt, and Magic Coat. So when a Pokemon uses Transform, it copies everything. Offenses, defenses, stat changes, abilities, natures, everything except for status conditions and hit points. Here's how we can abuse this to create the ultimate tank. Shuckle gets all its points poured into defense and special defense. Normally you would want max HP, but for this guy in particular, you want all the defenses you can possibly get. Bold nature is generally preferred over calm due to the fact that the majority of rock and steel type attacks are physical, and it makes aqua jets and waterfalls are a little bit easier to handle. Mew, who you're pairing it with, gets max HP and speed, because the goal is to quickly transform into the bulkiest possible version of Shuckle. For the movesets, Mew runs Transform, Protect, Fake Out, and Taunt, and Magic Coat is also an option. Mew can run either Binding Band for more infestation damage. You can run Leftovers for reliable hit points every turn. Or you can run Grip Claw, which makes your trapping moves like Infestation always last 7 turns instead of 4 or 5. Shuckle's moveset consists of Infestation, for untauntable damage each turn, plus it prevents switching. Toxic stacks up damage each turn, and Rest restores health and status. For the last spot, I prefer Shell Smash, because with Contrary, it'll boost your defenses every turn. But other options include Knockoff, to get rid of enemy leftovers, which can be super annoying, and Power Split, which averages your attack and special attack with the target. And what this does is it neutralizes, essentially, an enemy attacker that you think is going to be a serious problem. Because if you average your pitiful attack and special attack stat with them, then they're going to be doing absolutely nothing to you unless they switch out, which they can't because of Infestation. So if you think that there's a good chance that there's just going to be one guy that's going to take you down, Power Split is an excellent option. Here's some calculations just to show how stupidly tanky this thing is. A max attack Adamant Landorus T with Rock Slide is 5-hit KO. A max attack Charizard X with Flare Blitz is a 4-hit KO. Special attackers Life Orb Greninja is probably a 3-hit KO. Fire Blast from a Mega Charizard Y in Sun is a 3-hit KO, but if you get your Sand up, which you should have up, because if you run Sand with this thing, it boosts its special defense even higher, and it changes this Charizard Y from a 3-hit KO to a 6-hit KO. With only one Shell Smash, this Shuckle can take a maximum special attack, maximum HP, 150 base power Water Spout, and even in rain, too. That is the strongest attack in the whole game that's unboosted by stats, and that is absolutely insane. As for a team to go with this thing, I would highly recommend running Sand, because Sand boosts the special defense of all ground, rock, and steel types. So if you can get a Tyranitar or a Hippowdon with Sandstream, that's going to be awesome. Earthquake is great coverage against steel and poison types, which both can't be toxic. Crunch, Ice Punch give you more coverage, Protect just to stall a little bit more. I'd suggest running a physical and a special tank. For physical, I like Ferrothorn. It's got Leech Seed for more stall, protect, power up, and knockoff. It's just a really, really good physical tank. And I also like to have a Excadrill, because Sand Rush means its speed goes absolutely nuts, and with a Life Orb you can hit stuff really, really hard with Iron Head, Drill Run. Actually, Earthquake is also really, really good, because Earthquake does absolutely nothing to Shuckle. You don't have to worry about that. Rock Slide and X Scissor, just for some awesome coverage to take out the things that you don't want to have to deal with. How do you counter this unstoppable tank? Well, there's a few ways. The first and easiest is to simply just taunt Mew on turn 1 and prevent it from transforming. But if you don't have a fast taunt, what you want to do is hit it as hard as you can, as soon as you can. Don't bother hitting the actual Shuckle. Hit the Mew with the hardest hitting Rock-type moves, Water-type moves, Steel-type moves that you have on your team. If you've got any sort of stat booster, like a Mawile with Swords Dance, get Swords Dance as soon as you can, because they're not threatening you. The Shuckle and the Mew are not threatening for the first few turns until they can start racking up infestation damage. Boost your stats quick, hit them quick before the shell smashing can start. That is the most reliable way to take this thing out. Overall, this strategy has very, very high potential. It's really, really easy to set up, and it's really, really tough to shut down. All you have to do is one turn of Transform, and that's it. That's all the setup that you really need. Shell Smashing is just kind of an extra thing. Potential is very, very high, because you get such stupidly tanky stats, and you can just kind of last forever. The shutdown is really difficult, because there is almost nothing that can actually take this thing out. Overall, is it viable? Yes. I'm going to say yes it is, especially if you run it with the right team. If you run Sand, and if you've got the stall in there, and if you just build a team around it, I believe that this thing can go far.